Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Dark Art Society podcast. I'm your host, Chet, and thought we'd do something different today. I interviewed Elisa and Scott from Sugar That Rocks, which is a company that make a small cottage industry company that makes these amazing cookies. Elisa will explain further, but they're like they made cookies for me with my paintings on the cookies, and they're all hand done, and they just look incredible. And the cookies were so good, and they do stuff for like bands. They do sets of cookies for people of their favorite band, like the band logos and stuff. And it's just I just thought it was such a cool idea, and so well done, and the cookies were so good, just really, really great that I thought, I'm going to have them on. So I've got some up here. You can see the Dark Art Society logo one up there. They're so good. Those are the only three I managed not to eat. Because they're really good. Anyway, so we've got Elisa, Scott from Sugar That Rocks. We had a fun conversation. Really cool people. Great artists. And that will be coming up in a moment. So my art life update. My art life update is the Giger show went well. The Giger tribute show, Brain Salad Surgery at Copro Gallery this weekend. I made my finished my piece in time, the Divine Feminine, and that piece sold, which was great. Very excited about that, and people seem to like it. And I did a live stream from the. If you look at my Instagram at Chet Zar, I did a live stream from the event and posted video of it in my posts. So you can check out the show. Really great show. Lots of amazing artists in it. Saw a bunch of friends, a bunch of artist friends and collector friends. It was really, really a good time. And so now that painting's done and that show's done, I can get back to all of the stuff I have to get done, which was, as you know, my goal for this year, which I've been talking about for probably the last 5 years, getting everything cleared off my plate. But, I already got one thing done. I've got, let me see. I've got a list up on my wall here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, probably about 30 random study commissions, Kickstarter awards. I've got just a lot. And there's more than that. I have a lot of stuff. So anyway, I can get back on that. So I'm sort of excited about that. I'm relieved. As much as I love painting individual paintings for shows or even an entire show, it just takes up all of your time. So it's not like you can take, when you're in the groove painting, you can just take an hour out and do something else that you owe. It's like, when you're painting a show or painting a big epic piece, you really have to just stay in the zone of that painting, and it's hard to get in, to get out and back in again, So anyway, kind of excited that that's over so that I can get back on getting caught up with things, because I know that's going to make a big difference in my life. Anyway, so I guess we'll get on with the interview. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/darkartsociety. You can also get there from darkartsociety.com, which is our website, which we are going to revamp. I talked to Josh G, and he's going to help, kind of revamp the hell is that on my eyebrow? Revamp the website and make it simpler. And just simpler, basically. But all the links to everything are on darkartsociety.com. Anyway, if you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/darkartsociety, join for as little as $1 a month, and it supports the podcast. We are also sponsored by Skull Shop. SKULLSHOPPE.com. And if you join at the $5 and above level, you can get a coupon code for 20% off a skull. And here's one now. Amazing skulls. Amazingly realistic human skulls. Kyle is awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of theirs. So, yeah, join at the $5 and above level on the Patreon and get a 20% off code to use in the web store. What else? Oh, if you want to follow along on my artistic journey, you can go to patreon.com/ChetZar. If you haven't seen a lot of my work online, it's because it's all on my Patreon. And, I don't post it. I don't post my Patreon stuff publicly, some of it at all. And when I do, it's maybe a year later, 6 months later. So all the stuff's going on my Patreon. And that also is only $1 a month. So it's a pretty good deal. I think I'm going to set up, you can set it up to where you can pay for a year up front. And I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll try it on the Dark Art Society. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because once you turn that on, you can't turn it off. But I don't see any downside to it. I'm just cautious. Anyway, off on a tangent. Let's see. Is there anything else going on? I don't think so. No, everything's good. This interview is great. Super fun. Elisa and Scott are both really cool and fun to talk to. And let's get into it. Let's do it. Okay, here we go with Sugar That Rocks. Elisa and Scott from Sugar That Rocks. The interview on the Dark Art Society podcast. Hope you enjoy it. Hello, how's it going?
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Scott and Elisa Baxa, related to Tom Baxa. I just found out, even though I already knew it, but I forgot. Sorry.
You forgot. That's okay. You're getting old. We're getting old. We're on the same planet, man.
I'm definitely getting old, and I can't keep track of anything. And
I'm turning 50 next week.
All right.
So this is it. This is my moment.
Wow. Well, you look great. I have to say, you look great. I'm 55.
You don't look a day over 25.
Yeah, that's.
You asked for this. I told you. You really wanted to do this.
Chet, is this the first married couple you've had on the show, like at the same time, or?
No.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
We're going to be the last.
Yeah, totally.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think I've had a married couple. I definitely haven't had cookie makers. And I definitely haven't had like rock cookie makers. So
you are in for a treat.
So yeah, I became aware of your work. Sugar That Rocks is your company that makes these amazing cookies, and with like artwork on them, and centered around like a lot of metal and stuff, metal bands and stuff, but all kinds of stuff. Misha George got me some cookies for my I forget which show it was, but it was one of my recent solo shows. And I was so impressed with those, and they were really good. I ate them. It's like I couldn't not eat them because they were so good. I was like, I got to take a bite, and they were so good.
Was those the ones that he drew on, or were those the ones that I made the cookie and he drew on those?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Those are okay. Yeah, he made those. Then you sent me this amazing box of they're really delicious. They're really good. And then you sent me this box, 2 boxes of just like a bunch of my artwork on the cookies, and I couldn't believe how good it looked, and the logo and everything. I saved 3. They're up here. I got the gas mask logo, the Dark Art Society logo, and the 2 split head alter ego guy.
Yes.
But they were just so good. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get them on the show. They're so amazing.
That's so much. I love that you ate them.
I know.
Like, no one eats them
Nobody eats them.
ever.
I had to eat them. I felt bad. It was like one of those things. It was like, man, this is too good. This is too amazing to eat, but it's too delicious not to eat. So it's like,
What did you do with the blanks? I gave you blanks. Did
oh,
you?
I had the my me and my granddaughters did
Yes,
them.
that's what I wanted you to do.
It
They
was so cool.
best thing for kids. I'm telling you. I sent those to Maynard's wife Jen's
Oh,
for
okay.
that, and they loved them. That's just the best thing for children. But I thought maybe you would paint something,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your art or something. That would be
I did something and it was like, it wasn't impressive and that impressive. So I was like, I'm not going to share this, but, and then the girls did like
that's awesome.
hogged the other ones up. So, because they
Yeah,
were all into it, but it was super fun. I really appreciate that.
very
It
cool.
was awesome. It was really, really, really cool. Really cool. But yeah, your stuff is so great. So I thought, wow, it'd be interesting to have you, because you both work together on this, right?
Yes.
And so how does tell us the story about sugar that rocks? I mean, how did this all happen?
Well, I'll tell you that I hated that name when I came up with it. I wanted to change it so bad. Because I'm new to social media. I don't even have Facebook. I hate that. I hated that shit.
Yeah.
I did not want any of that. I remember being at work and someone's like, you should get on Instagram. I'm like, what the fuck is Instagram? I have no idea what it's called. And I had to do a handle, and long story short, I really wanted like Sugar High and
Uh-huh.
Sugar High or something like that, and it was all taken. So I just did Sugar That Rocks, and everyone loves it, but I actually don't love that
Yeah.
Now it's too late to change it already. But really, to answer your question, because I can do one long run-on sentence the entire time, Chet, so just stop me.
I will.
Yeah, he's gonna. So this is perfect. You'll see this, and I'll be like, I'll jump.
That's my elbow.
It makes it easier for me.
Calm and reason, so you'll figure that out. So it was actually, I've always been baking for probably, really my whole life. I love baking, but I'm Asian, and Asians don't use their oven at all. This is true. They don't use their oven, and we don't use the dishwasher. We like to store things. It's absolutely true. 100% true. Ask it. Okay. So anyway, so I always like baking, but about 12 years ago, a coworker asked me to make a cake, and I actually just started making cakes. So I did that for friends and family. And then about 6 years into that, someone asked me to do cookies to match the cake. It was like, your Curious Georges, your Frozens, your, oh my God, Mickey Mouse. If I have to do another Mickey Mouse cake, I like really myself. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There is great art.
Yeah, sure.
There's a market for sure. I was doing that when Frozen was out. Could you imagine the amount of cakes I was doing?
Yeah.
And someone asked me to do frozen cookies or something, so I fell into cookies, and I realized that cookies, you can do one, and if you mess up, you can do another one. Cakes are harder to do that. So I started transitioning into cookies, still doing cakes, friends and family, just word of mouth, no website, no social media, no Facebook, and it just got to the point that I was getting more requests than I could handle, but I still worked my full-time job. I was working for the same company. I just went part-time like 18 years. So it was a long time in this core company that I was at.
Wow.
So this was a big step for me, but it really, to answer your question, it was COVID. It was lockdown. I thought about wanting to do something different before lockdown. When was that? Like mid-March, I think. Around my birthday. It was around my birthday. It was actually about the same time right now. And I wanted to do something that was music related, because Scott and I love music. I mean, if you saw my page at all.
You go to a lot of shows and stuff.
A lot of shows, a lot of music, really metal, different forms of metal, but metal. And I wanted to pull that together, and I'm a really good, what I realized through this whole process is that I'm a really good replicator. I can look at something and figure out how to do it. I can do that with a recipe really well. Like if you give me a recipe, I can read it once and figure it out.
Oh, interesting.
I think some people have to do it repetitively. I can do it after a couple tries. And so I taught myself how to make certain types of cookies and work with certain ingredients, and kind of got good at that. But I just couldn't find anything music based that I liked. So I started, Googling music cookies, rock and roll cookies, metal cookies, Slayer cookies, Gojira cookies, Tool cookies, anything. And I just saw, and again, I'm not trying to downplay anyone's work, because this shit's hard to do.
Yeah.
But it just didn't, I couldn't find what I wanted. I couldn't find like the level that I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen, yeah, I haven't seen anything like what you do out there. I mean, I'm not like up on all the cookie making in the world. I'm not in the business, but I've never seen anything like what you do on cookies.
That's kind of what we kind of dig about it, is that there is nothing like us.
Yeah, it seems like a niche. You've totally nailed this niche.
That's what people say. It's a very specific niche. It's not for everyone. I mean, some people they're like, okay, I'm not into this, or will you make me what's a Beyonce? No,
right.
I can't. I mean, I can.
Yeah.
I can.
Well, we did.
I actually did make it.
We did a Beyonce set.
I did for a good friend, and I loved him, and I made it, and it actually turned out really well. But it's one of those things. It's like, it's not just about making the cookie. It's not just about an order for us. It's about like, what does this person love? What is it about the band that they love? Is it Undertow? Is it Fear? Is it the first album, the last album, the first concert too? And so I always ask them, and we can talk about more about that later, but I always ask them personal things about it.
Oh, cool.
And they're just like, just make me a tool set. Like, I don't care if your work is awesome, just make a tool set. And you have those clients too. They're like, I just love your work. Just give me just come up with something.
Right.
That's when I start creeping their page. I'm like, okay, here we go. All right, he likes this. He went to this. All right, he's got that tattoo. All right, done. And that's what I've been trying to do the last maybe year. And it really kind of started really with Tool.
Yeah, I think
wow.
She has this really kind of cool way of kind of customizing sets to specifically what they're interested in. Even from a band perspective, but also, like if it's sometimes just for the person just wants a set for themselves, and she kind of finds stuff that's very special, images that are special to them, be it a tattoo or a certain band or album, and kind of find those images and then, get them onto the cookies.
Right.
And it's really, it's amazing how quickly this thing took off and how much interest there was. Neither of us anticipated how much, people would just die over, these sets of their favorite band on cookies.
Right.
Just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, the
like,
band.
You you geeked out because like you're a horror geek. You love it. You're like, that's what we are. Like, totally. I'm not a horror geek as you guys are, and I say that loosely because I love you guys. But like his brother and him, they grew up in horror. Like that's their whole thing. I mean, do you know, Chet, how many? I could have made you a 3-box set with like old school horror and like new school horror, and it would just, you would have blown your mind. But that stuff is awesome. It's interesting, and it's so much a part of you. And if you can translate it into an edible piece of art that you don't want to eat, and I still get kind of upset when people don't want to eat the cookies just because I know how good they taste.
Good, because I felt guilty about it. Like I felt like I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't help it.
That's why I always do that first. Like I always send a blank or an eat me or
okay.
So to invite them, because people are like, fuck that, I'm not eating it. Right. Like I had one person say she gave it to her husband for his birthday, and he literally opened the box, opened the cookies, was like dying over him, closed them, and put them in his closet. I go, what good is that? Like,
yeah, right.
What are you doing?
No one's even gonna see him.
What are you gonna do? Like, you have them displayed, which I just love so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I mean, it's very, it's funny. It's very what you're doing is kind of like dark art adjacent. It seems like it's like part of that community sort of, because Tool is kind of related to that sort of, and metal and horror. It's all kind of like part of that whole thing. Also the fact that you are niche and you're catering to specific tastes. That's also very dark art as well. It's because it's a niche thing, really. Dark art. It's kind of takes a special. It's for certain types of people. It's like everybody doesn't like it, you know. So
Mom hates it.
you know, you know, just like we're all wearing black right now. It's like, you know, this is.
I mean, you can't, you know, like, well, actually, I mean, I honestly almost put your poster up there, and like we both were gonna wear your shirts, and I was gonna get a Chet mug, and you know, I ordered you a Chet cookie cutter in the shape of your logo, but it's not here yet, and I was gonna, like, we were just gonna go over the top, Chet,
I mixed,
and he's like, you can't do that. I'm like, why not? It'll be funny. You'll get it.
I would have got it.
Again, I'm the voice of reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so you're able to, you know, how's the business doing? Because it seems like it took off. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about it. You really are popular in the tool community too. It seems, and that's a great community to get in with, because Tool fans are just so passionate, you know, and very supportive of things that are related to Tool.
Well, for that, we'll tell you the story of that. You know, Scott and I met 21 years ago, and Ladder Alice came out literally a month after we started dating, and that was our album.
Oh, cool.
We both love Tool. That was our first show together, was Tool, Ladder Alice, three times. Sugar Open, Tomahawk Open, but that was our album. So Tool has always been in, like, you know, when you meet someone, what's your movies, what's your music, what's your food, whatever, and that was it. So to kind of fast forward through multiple shows, and you know, our love of that and music, like he's brought me to other music and vice versa, but to end up with our shit in their green room is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like
your stuff,
we got sets to all four of them
last
year. So I can tell you that story. It's a long story if you want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I'm not trying to name drop or anything, but it's pretty out there. So yeah, Maynard liked my cookies.
That's awesome. No, I'm into it. I'm interested.
Okay, so basically what happened was, prior to that, we sent a 3-box set to Jen, Maynard's wife.
Yeah, to the Pucifer store.
And it had a mix of everything Pucifer. It didn't really have Tool, but it had a lot of Maynard, you know, just a lot of logos. Great set. And we sent it to them, and they really enjoyed it. They were blown away. I did put a small Kiss cookie in there. This was before I knew that Maynard was a huge Kiss fan, and it was actually for Frankie, the barber there that loves Kiss, so I actually put it in for him. But I guess Maynard loved that, and it kind of got his attention, and they were just blown away with the taste. So they ordered cookies to resell in their Pucifer store and the Mercury tasting rooms. So they ordered, I think we did some testers of like 6 styles. They picked 4, and they actually promoted them during Record Store Day that they had there.
How cool.
It was just, I mean, I was like, you want to see me cry. That was a crying moment.
I imagine,
sure.
Yeah.
And it was, just stop it. Yeah. And so, so fast forward. So I said, after that, so you build a relationship, right? You know, whatever relationship you have through social media, DM. So I knew when next tour, I wanted to try to get a set to them, and we didn't even know the concept of what we wanted to do, but I just knew I had to kind of put that in there. And the one thing about me is I'm really tenacious. I have balls. Like, I will ask anyone. If you will ignore me, I've been ignored. It's fine. I've been unfollowed. That's totally fine. But I will always ask.
That's what it takes.
It does. I mean, you have to. Like, if you're, no one else is going to do this for us. So,
of storming through boundaries, like she can just, you know, like
I
know about anything at any moment, you know. And if you look at off,
they call me TMZ at my work.
What's that?
They call me TMZ at work.
Totally, that's totally
TMZ. Do you know what TMZ is?
TMZ, the
national that gossip
thing. Yeah.
I can literally talk to anyone.
Oh,
I literally can find information about anyone, about anything. I'm like, this person had a bowel movement at 2 o'clock. He's negative. He's, all that stuff. Like, I just have this gift of gab, I guess. And it's kind of annoying, but it does work for what I'm doing, apparently. So I asked Jen, I would really like to do a set for the members of Tool. I'm originally from St. Louis. That's where I grew up. And we were seeing a show in St. Louis, and I wanted to bring a set to them. And I planted the seed. This was months out. And, she's like, great, let me see what was going on. And it was actually about 3 weeks before the show, Scott and I just decided on what we wanted to do for the sets. And we came up with this great kind of story of, let's convert them into the KISS members, but let's put Maynard as Ace because he loves Ace. And so then we had to kind of switch things around, and it was hilarious. So Scott was like frantically trying to put all 4 guys in KISS makeup.
That's amazing.
For
the boxes.
Yeah.
And you got to see this picture. I mean,
we should probably just preface that. So I do these kind of custom covers for the boxes that we send the cookies in.
Okay.
So I kind of put together this thing with them in KISS makeup, which was hilarious. We were laughing out loud, as I'm doing it.
I bet.
But it was stressful as hell because it was literally going to be on Maynard's box, and we included in each guy's box, a print of it. But it was incredibly stressful and really difficult to do. Not really my forte, but it was pretty hilarious.
He had to make these images, so I can get these images and transpose them into the cookie, because I actually did those 4 images of them in KISS makeup in a cookie, and then I curated a set for each person. So Adam had the Gibson logo. Jack Kirby loves, him as an artist. Just his wife. I did his wife, which was stupid because she's an amazing artist, and it was great. I didn't think it was that good, but things that he loves. His wrestling. He loves wrestling, and there's things that I definitely know about Tool. I know them quite a bit, but there's also a lot of things about them that I don't know. So I'm googling all this.
So she personalized the sets forward their interests.
And it was a lot of fun. It was
so cool.
It was really cool. And then of course Maynard got the Destroyer, like all the major KISS albums, and then he's got all 4 of them in KISS makeup, and then the original KISS singles, the red, white, blue, the red, blue, and whatever.
Right, yeah.
So awesome. And then he had the shirts that he wore during the tour. It was just probably the most stressful, but the funniest. We were dying over these images. I mean, Justin had like the bow tie with the collar with that little ring,
Uh-huh.
Full on, he had the full on, the Gene Simmons, hair going up.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
The whole deal. So it was pretty funny.
Is it anywhere? Is it posted anywhere, or is it like
it's there?
Oh, okay.
I'll send it to you.
Cool.
It's
It's amazing.
So we did it took, it was probably about 45 cookies I had to do.
Wow.
And it was for Tool, so that's stressful. And then also I wanted them to be as fresh as possible. So the last 3 nights before we were going down there, we didn't sleep at all. We were doing these like nonstop, super stressful. Yeah. The morning that we were leaving, because we had to drive to St. Louis, I was finishing up a cookie, and Scott didn't even start Justin's box yet. So he was doing Justin's box while I was finishing up the cookie. And then we're putting it on my van or my truck to drive down there, and they weren't even finished yet. Like, we still had to assemble everything.
They were drying in the car. They were still drying.
Sounds like every art show I'm in.
Yeah, it's just like you're in frantic mode. And then DM Jen that morning, and that's the first time I talked to her since I planted that seed months ago. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hope she like remembers who I am.
Mm-hmm. I heard she's really nice, really cool person.
Just adorable. And so I'm like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but Scott and I did this awesome set, and I showed her some pictures.
She knew who you were. I'm sure remembered you.
So,
throughout the whole thing.
and so I told her, and she's like, yes, actually, I'll be there. So I'll be there, blah, 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 contact this person. So we're shitting bricks driving down to St. Louis while the cookies are drying with no sleep, delirious, but giddy, all of that. So we got the cookies to them. Long story short, it was great. Had an amazing show. And then the moment that I think I fell on the floor, I like literally fell on the floor. So after the show, it was like 1 a.m. It was actually my birthday. My birthday was the 19th. So it was the morning of, 1 o'clock on my birthday. And Adam DM'd me and posted my cookies. And I have this thing that a lot of people are sending me videos of unboxing videos. I kind of have them sporadically on my page, which I can talk about later. But Adam did an unboxing video, and I swear to God, I thought someone died because my phone blew up so much. It's only blown up like that twice since I've had Instagram. And I've had Instagram, 3 years? When Maynard posted my cookies, and I'm fucking name dropping, I don't care. And Adam. And I literally I went to the bathroom. You have to think we were so tired and so just giddy. And I cried. I went on the floor and I cried.
Yeah, I believe it. That's awesome.
Because we were like emotional and just tired. And oh my God. And Adam's like, my wife bakes cookies. He's sending me pictures. I'm like, so that was pretty cool. So that was probably the pinnacle moment in the 3 years we've done this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But there's other moments too, actually.
What's that?
There's other moments too that are awesome.
It just seems like you I don't know, you've blown up fast. I should have done an unboxing video. I remember I was kind of like,
Chet, what the hell? I mean, God,
I took a ton of pictures and I posted pictures.
You could wear your t-shirt and shit. I expected more from you as an artist. I really
I took pictures of everything. I just should have done a video.
No.
But
that's okay. Well, you have so much great art, and I have to say that I actually had about 4 more images I was going to do for you, but 3 of them I could not get to the way I wanted them.
They look amazing. The art reproductions, because you did some like the gas mask logo and the Dark Art Society logo, which are amazing, but the paintings were really, really great. I mean, really good, really good. I couldn't believe the artistic level was like amazing.
The ego death was, alter ego is the one that is the piece that got us to you, but ego death was the hard one. That was the one that was like, I cursed that one for. I'm going to be honest with you, that one took me about 4 hours. Like, wow. I seriously, because I kind of stared at it. I was like, no, that's wrong. I had retried it. But it's kind of cool, the glove that's holding the gun. I actually used a metallic silver underneath, and then I put the icing over it, and it did this cool kind of like water bubble oil effect.
So cool.
That was actually an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm keeping that, and I remember that for next time. So that's kind of the cool thing with this, is that the materials I use are not art related, but they have more of an art vibe than what traditional baking is. I kind of figured out a way to use this media in a way that is not traditionally used. That's why my stuff doesn't look like your typical Etsy baker.
Yeah. They look like art. They are art. It is art. It's I was curious, like, what's the process? I mean, how do you do it? I mean, are you like tracing them out and then going with the different colored pens and kind of like painting with the pens, or you, I mean, you don't have to say if it's like a trade secret or anything. I was just curious.
Well, it's, what it is. It's okay. So start with the cookie, you make the cookie. It took me about 4 months to figure out that recipe. And I do have a little secret of why it tastes the way it does.
The icing is it's so perfect. It's so perfect. It's like seriously the best cookie I've ever eaten. It's just like my kind of cookie. Something about it. That's why I couldn't like not.
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't hear you. What did
I
it
couldn't.
was the best cookie you've
It
ever
was the best cookie. It's literally my favorite cookie. Taste, taste.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, and it's like that's why I couldn't not eat them. Because it
Thank
was,
you.
after.
Chad, I'll do this. Your cookie cutter should be coming soon. I will make you, I have a chocolate version
Oh,
that is
cool.
fucking to die for. I mean, I have someone that was keto and she asked me to make these cookies because they were so good. And I actually did a few dozen and sent it to Maynard in the Pucifer logo because I have but I'll do it with the Chet. I'll send you those, and I make a chocolate chip one is to die for. I do. Awesome. I've been trying to do other flavors, but people just love the original. But it took me about 4 months to figure out how to get the way I wanted it, because you've seen decorated cookies. You go to parties and they I'm sure you've seen them in your art shows or wwhatever. And they're fine. They're cute. They have the logo and they're done.
Right.
You might and you might not. Half of them are broken anyway. So I wanted these to be really good, because that's the point. Like, it's a cookie.
Right.
But I needed them to be substantial enough to hold up to, what I'm doing. And so I had to make them really thick. I had to make the icing a certain consistency with a lot of air, so it's thicker and heavier. And I figured that out. And then the real kind of, I don't know, secret is that I use the same stuff everyone else does for their cookies. So if you look at a frozen cookie, like with frozen on it, it's the same material that I use. I just manipulate the icing a way that it works like ink and not like icing. And it took me a minute to figure that out. And if you kind of look at my page from the beginning, you can see how the icing has progressed into your traditional stuff. If you look at my first tool set, I'm talking 3 years ago, it's your traditional piped tool logo, and I still use toothpicks. That's my choice of weapon.
Really?
But yeah, I use toothpicks.
Oh, wow.
And I actually take the toothpick, you're going to laugh, and I sharpen it even more. Sharpen the toothpick with a really fine scissor, and I make it into a slant, so it's almost like a quill and like an ink.
Oh, how cool. That's kind of amazing.
That's how I kind of grab the icing to kind of hold on while I'm working.
That is so impressive.
I actually have, there's a couple videos. I don't do a lot of videos while I'm doing this because honestly, I'm just trying to work. I'm not trying to like show my stuff.
Right.
But I've been doing more work in progress pictures on my stories just so people can see that I actually do put that image on the cookie. It's not, people ask me if they're, the sheets of color, they have color sheets. You can do that on a cake. You can get an inkjet printed. You go to your local, grocery store and you get your frozen cake or whatever. And it's not like that. So I had to show people. And then I actually had to put on my post that there were cookies right on the header, because in the beginning, people thought there were buttons or stickers or I don't know what, not edible. So I had to put on there, which was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And I forgot my story. What was I talking about? Oh,
your techniques.
My techniques. So I actually used toothpicks solely until maybe 8 months ago. I didn't even pick up a brush until about 8 months ago.
Wow.
I have an Instagram friend that I love so much, Mike. He's an amazing artist in Philly, and he uses like this great brush technique, lots of stippling and just awesome stuff. And I actually did his pieces on a set and sent it to him and mixed it in with some tulle. I'll send it to you. It's a great set.
Cool.
Amazing artist from Philly. Hi, Mike. And
Mike Gamble.
Oh, okay.
And Adam actually bought one of his pieces recently. He does a series that kind of copy the Fear album for Tool, and it's just beautiful work. And actually, Adam bought one of those, so we're hoping for a poster. Sorry, I had to. Okay, all right, going on. But so I learned techniques through paintbrushing. I actually watched Bob Ross like quite a bit just to find the basics of that, because that's not how I don't know any
She has
of
no
that.
formal art
I have
training.
no
Really?
formal art-
Oh, no.
Wow.
Do you
Yeah.
want to know what I went to school for?
What's that?
What do you think?
I have, I have no idea.
Accounting. I went to school for accounting.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of art.
Oh,
Totally.
It's the polar opposite.
it's total. I mean, man, let me tell you, I can Rain Man anything. Like, give me a some sort of problem to solve. I'm really good that way too.
Yeah.
But I just learned how to do this through things like Bob Ross or watching my friend do
That's
art,
amazing. That's
YouTubing something.
yeah. That's so. Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, that's a.
Like, he's the artist.
He doesn't know where to go with the Bob Ross thing. He's
No,
like,
no. I love Bob Ross. I'm a huge
yeah,
Bob Ross
yeah.
fan. I'm just.
I honestly learned how to, because portraits are
That's awesome.
not my thing. I hate doing portraits. I cannot. I mean, I just made a Neil Peart. I can never say it. I can never.
Only
say
Rush
it.
nerds like me know how to say it right.
Well, I didn't know you were a Rush nerd until I saw you said something. I saw something on your post. I didn't know you were into Rush.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge
I
Rush.
should have told you, like, Getty with the bass. You play bass too?
And guitar.
I'm going to make you a Getty with the bass.
I'm a huge...
But I made that portrait of Neil just recently, and that was the first portrait that I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of good. Like, I actually thought this could pass.
Right. I just think that you didn't draw when you were a kid or anything.
No.
That's so unusual.
Okay, here's the thing. I have to use a projector to get the outline.
Right.
You can't make logos.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Everyone has to do that. So I have to put the image on.
Yeah.
I have to put where the eyes are. I mean, I'm not
that. I use a projector. A lot of people, but knowing how to shade and getting it to look right, it's a whole other story.
It's one of those things that I actually thought about trying to pick up a pen or pencil and actually trying to do that on my own to learn some of these techniques that I can transpose. The problem is that I realize is that royal icing has a lifeline, a very short lifeline. It hardens with air. It's got meringue powder. So it's basically powdered sugar, water, any kind of flavoring, whatever color you do, if not, and meringue powder, and that's it. And it hardens after 10 seconds, it starts getting a different consistency. It's different than ink, which you can play with it for a long time.
Right.
So I have actually learned to use that transition into my advantage. For example, I just did Alter Ego again for a recent tool set. And what I did is I outlined the 3 heads. I waited 10 seconds and I took a dry brush and I wiped it off. Just the outline. Everything else was dry. That's something I learned from trial and error.
Right.
And so normal cookie artists wouldn't do that. They'd be like, that's insane. Why would you do that? That looks like shit. But what our art, your art, it's fucking cool. That modeling effect is cool.
Right.
I'm not making roses and,
Right. Yeah, it's totally suited to that kind of artwork.
And that's what's fun about it. So yes, I could take some of those classes. Yes, I can look at that, but I need to do it with the medium I have.
Yeah, and there's not anybody teaching that, right? I mean, you're kind of like making it up.
No, because I'm making it up as I go.
So cool.
And I recently just started using more color too. If you look at my earlier work, there's hardly any color. The only color is red, which is easily transposed. So I had to buy more color. I had to figure out. I mean, don't make fun of me. I was like, when I started, I was like, what do I mix with red to get purple? He's like,
it's been really cool though to see like her progression from starting with just traditional piping to using these unconventional tools and getting all this really cool mark making going on and all that. Awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's so weird. It's weird to find that I don't know, you have a talent later in life, it's like
Totally.
it's
Oh
like
my God.
it's for me it's like that. Well, I didn't start painting until I was 33. I already had like a makeup effects career like for 15 years at that point. And then podcasting, like I'm a pretty good interviewer. People like it, and I never thought I would be interviewing people, like not at all. And I'm still
Yeah.
pretty like a mush mouth a lot of the time, but it was something like, that's 5 years when I was maybe 50 or 49, I started this,
Yeah.
and I had no idea I'd be any good at it. So it's kind of weird, when you're interested in something and you have that I don't know, obsessive quality, to where you want to do something, you really want to do something, and you kind of get into it. You can really find that talent
Well,
buried inside.
they say like passion drives you, and I guess I never really understood that. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is your passion? Well, I don't fucking know. Like, what does that mean? But passion is, getting up early, staying up
Right.
late, which is the work when you're dead ass tired,
Yeah.
to figure out how to
Always
do
show
the
up.
next.
Yep.
That is passion.
Yeah. And yeah, it's
When you're 47 or when you're 27, or maybe you haven't figured that out yet.
right. Yeah, it's you kind of, I think you need that that drive, because especially I'm sure with any creative endeavor, or any endeavor really, but because it's hard to master something, and you need that extra passion to push you through the difficult times, that drive, that passion, because there's times where you're just like, oh, I hate this. It's not working. But you have to have that thing that, like, the love for what you're doing, or the drive to push you through, to carry you through, because it's not always super fun. Sometimes
Well,
it's
and the client
painful.
can see that. And the client can see if you half-ass something. I mean, I'll be totally honest. There was a couple sets I'm like, I just have to get through this. Like
Right. Yeah.
I overbooked myself, or like I'm having a bad personal moment,
Mm.
whatever it is. And you just have to, like, I want to see your reaction that you had with every single set
Right.
big,
Yeah.
like Tool, Gojira, or just Suzy Q. The Rush set that I just did, the husband texted me literally minutes after they got it, and she was bawling. Like,
Wow.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Kind of the same thing. Like, you go to a show and you're like bawling because your favorite song. You're like, oh
Mm.
my God, like whatever the artist can do to invoke that emotion is that's kind of the same thing
Right.
for any art. Like, you have a showing and people are like floored with your stuff. That's emotion that you created, and
Right.
that's all you do through
Yeah.
art.
It's a real what's the word? It's see, this is where I'm not good at interviews, when I can't think of a word. It's
Sounds
Like,
like
it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like you're lucky. What's the word I'm trying to say? A privilege. It's a privilege. That's what it is. It's a privilege to be able to give that to somebody.
it is.
That's sort of like an amazing little reward you get from doing your artwork, or doing it well.
That's kind of how if you kind of go through my page, there's people started sending me unboxing videos. So the first one was, I think the girl Nicole, she had the long red hair. She, like, her husband shot a video of her getting my cookies, and she was dying. And she's like, oh, I'm not going to eat these. These are awesome. And then I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll post that. And then someone else sent me a video, a wedding. He got it for the wedding. Awesome. Like, he's like, hell no, I'm not going to eat. These are all fucking awesome. And then I started getting all these unboxing. I mean, I've gotten like kids that are 13 that got sets, and then I had an 80-year-old for her birthday that was a Puscifer fan.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, she loved Maynard. Like, I did all the and she was just dying. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is the reason to do this.
Right.
It's not in the beginning. I gave so many sets away in the beginning
Yeah.
to promote this. It
Mhm.
was unreal. It was, but the timing was perfect. It was COVID, it was lockdown.
Mhm.
It was my mom who, I had a kind of a tragic passing with my dad, and my mom stayed with me for about a year.
Mhm.
So I had her help. He got furloughed, so he was home. There was no driving kids around. So, you're stuck at home.
Right.
And I'm like a shark. I can't stop moving.
Mhm.
Susie said that. Tommy's sister, wife, girlfriend, sorry, said that. That was my moment right there. Sorry, Susie. She's actually going to be here in fucking 10 minutes. But she's like, you're like a shark. I can't stop moving.
Mhm.
So we just were like, okay, like who do we send to? Like, who do we know? No one.
Mhm.
So we're like, let's send to local tribute bands. We go to a lot of shows. This is Chicago. There's a lot of tribute bands. Korn, Deftones, Tool, our friend Buddy, he's Tool.
Mhm.
So we started sending out sets. Okay, who else do we know? Okay, Eric from Tool Collective, blah, blah, blah. This person. We just started, Deftones, Buckle Up for Chi Foundation.
Yeah, so we did some charity sets for a local charity called Buckle Up for Chi, which is the original bass player for the Deftones passed.
Mm-hmm.
I know through a car accident. So they do seatbelt awareness stuff. We did some free sets, actually quite a few sets for them for raffles that they raffled off for charity for that cause. All of this, but there's so many great stories like through the Buckle Up for Chi thing. Chi's family actually saw the sets and wanted a set, so we had the opportunity to be able to send them this kind of huge double set of cookies that went to Chi's mom, and it was very
cool.
For them.
Oh, she was bawling too. She was bawling, didn't want to eat them. Really, they weren't on social, but they sent us a really nice letter, which was really
That's
cool.
so cool. Wow.
Yeah, that was our first kind of little touch of that.
Yeah. There's some great stuff. There was somebody that had just recovered from cancer, and this was kind of her gift to herself for that. To get I think a Mike Patton set we did for this person. So you kind of get these kind of personal stories that really kind of resonate and touching that you wouldn't expect from this.
Right.
Really, it's about the community, the fan community, and all of that, and it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah. And we actually so when we started, we did a lot of just get our name out there and then repost. I was new to social at that time. I didn't really know what was going on. I'm like, what is this? Followers? Who is that? 20 people like my post. Great. Yeah. Honestly, still not a big deal, but it's one of those things that you have to get your stuff out there. It's such a small thing and so specific. It's not like my neighborhood. No one would be like, what are you doing? And I have to get it out into the masses and see and who's interested. And luckily people were interested. And we started doing orders and just through DMing, and it got the better I got, the more images I tried to do. I didn't want to do the same images. I did a lot of tool from the get-go, and I couldn't do the same images over and over. I had to try to do new ones, and with that I had to figure out new techniques, because that image was that technique, but what about this image? I had to figure out do it, and how do I figure that out, because I don't know no one's telling me how to do it. There's no YouTube on it, so I've went through so many cookies, Chet. You don't even know how many thrown away. My family's not eating all these cookies. I'm just trying this and trying to fuck it, throw it away, try it again, trial and error. And I have to say, I finally honed in the technique that I'm using now for the last maybe when I picked up the paintbrushes, maybe 8 months. That's when I finally figured out how to really do this.
Wow.
And if you kind of look at my work progression, you can see kind of the turning point. There's always sets that really push me. Your set definitely pushed me out of my box. Anytime you do it for the actual artist, music, or, actual art, you can't you've got to push yourself.
They did. You did them justice. You really did. You know, I can say that probably better than anybody else because I know those paintings inside and out because I painted them, and you really they were really amazing. Really good.
Art is really it's easy for me to do defined work, a defined logo, a straight line that I can that's easy. Your work it's soft, it's got a wash to it, it's very blended, and that
painterly
style is very hard for me to do. Very hard.
Well, you did an amazing job.
Thank you. Let's just talk about this the whole time, how much you love my work, how much
hey, you didn't ask to be on the show. It was my idea. It was that means I that's because I felt that strongly about it.
Well, that's it's great because if someone asked me to be on a baking show or something, I'd be like, yeah, I got 20 minutes. Let's do this. Okay. It's just not. I mean, people ask me all the time, do you look at baking? Websites, you look at that, and I really don't. I just the techniques are there and they're beautiful and I have learned stuff from them, but this is just, I need to use your art. I need to use that technique that goes to look like your art. It doesn't look like that.
Right.
And one of those things that I've been actually trying to expand past black and trying to make color, and I've been playing with that a little because one of my all-time, I need to do a set for this artist, but I'm so scared to do it, is Alex Gray.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Done.
Yeah, you got to do color with Alex Gray.
I mean, you just, and you know what?
Got to sharpen those toothpicks too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. Sharpen
there.
I have a stomach. I literally have a mental stomach ache right now. You have no idea. So someone that works at the Sacred Mirrors.
Chapel of Sacred
Mirrors. Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember. He worked there. Someone works there, and he reached out to me and asked me if I would like to do a set for Mr. Gray. And I go, I don't think I can. It's probably about a year ago. I'm like, I really honestly, his work doesn't transpose well in my median. It's just there's no black. I need some black.
Yeah.
And but I've done probably 5 images of Alex Gray, which they turned out okay because they had a lot of grayscale. But I would love to. And his wife follows me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, Allie.
Wow.
I would love to, and but I'm not there yet. So I'm trying to figure out, because that would expand a whole, if I could do color.
Oh yeah.
That would be insane, but it's getting that raw material to be able to work that way, and it's a little harder than that.
You just need to learn the color wheel.
Yeah, maybe you can teach me that.
I'll show you. I'll send you some resources.
Primary.
Honey, but seriously, in the beginning, I'd be like, how do I get this more green? How do I change that to this? He's like, use this, Oh
so yeah, Scott knows. Scott's.
Yeah.
What? How do you work together with this? You're saying you design the boxes and stuff?
Yeah, so I do anything on paper. I do, I guess, in a sense. So I do the boxes that we ship these out in, like the gift box,
which was amazing, by the way. I was first thing I did was show my my wife, look at how this is packaged. We need to remember this for when we do something cool like this, because the packaging was just amazing. The whole thing was just absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Did you get the ribbon off? Okay.
Yeah.
You did. Okay. Because most people can't get the ribbon off.
Well, I mean, I got it off, but I didn't. And I tried to get it back on and to take another picture, or what was it to show? I was going to show, I think for my grandkids, I was going to show them it all together, and I didn't quite get it back on the way it's supposed to. And I'm like, man, I know there's a simple way to do this ribbon, and I just couldn't figure it out.
Oh yeah, he does an amazing job.
But yeah, it yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about the packaging, because really the packaging is like a whole other level. It's seriously so just beautiful. It's just beautiful. The whole thing was like beautiful, beautifully done. All the little extras you put in and everything. So I'm sorry. So tell me, Scott.
Yeah, so I can kind of give you a little bit of background to that. So you know, so sure enough, I get laid off. We're in the pandemic. I'm like ready to settle in because I'm like, I'm not going to work. I kind of started a new process with my artwork. So I was looking forward to spending a lot of time on that. And then this one here, she's like, hey, there's something I need you to do. I need you to spray paint a stencil the tool logo on this box.
Just a simple stencil, just a simple tool, I'm like, why not? It's a black box, just put something on there.
And I'm like, what are we doing? So wait, what are we doing? Kind of is my mantra throughout this whole thing. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of pause on my stuff, and I'm now like trying to cut stencils. Literally, I was cutting stencils out and spray painting. And I've got no experience necessarily with stenciling or anything like that. Spray painting logos on boxes, and it was just pretty awful, actually. Awful. Like it was just not working. And so like I would peel the stencil off, and it tore the box paper off. So, now I'm trying to distress the box intentionally now. So I'm like, what am I doing? Brushing gesso on there and
totally
like so eventually I got it to work. So we got some we got band logos spray painted onto boxes, and I don't know, it was kind of awful. But anyways, so that was like the first kind of iteration of this process. And eventually, I'm like, well, look, let me, I do digital art. What if I, grab a logo and start throwing some textures behind there? I've got thousands of textures. I photograph everything for my work, So I started layering in my own textures, and somehow it evolved into, I'm going to print this onto acetate and then paint on the back of the acetate to create kind of a unique, kind of handmade thing. So that started looking kind of cool and interesting. And I kind of developed this kind of whole thing with like literally working like metallic paints and different kinds of paints kind of into the like with like this kind of superimposed digital image on the top.
They were cool.
It was kind of cool.
They were really cool. They had a really cool vibe. And then after that, then he just went to straight digital.
Yeah, it was too unpredictable.
It was
right.
It was, yeah, and like I found some really great Epson metallic paper that had like the same effect.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm kind of like I can skip over that whole step. Yeah. That whole tedious step that was going nowhere.
It's messy, and there's cookies, so it has to be like
Right.
They were cool. They had a vibe going, but then I just went straight digital.
Yeah.
So and just putting on a really nice paper and all of that, and then she wanted me to do these cards, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a card, all this, and then the cards kind of started evolving into something.
Cards
unique.
are great.
So we would kind of come up with a fun little catchprise on it.
Chet loves cookies.
Yeah, it was. I did for yours, and that kind of thing.
So stupid.
So
Tom Sawyer loves cookies.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer loves cookies. And we did Nine Nails is what was it? Eat cookies and get closer to God.
They're so good. He's so good with the packaging. I'm not like
yeah, so that's really fun to kind of coordinate all that stuff together. And it's funny, not my forte per se, but it's funny as I was working on the tool sets, because we had really kind of very tightly coordinated color schemes for the 4 boxes. We wanted all that and all of that. And it's funny, I had this moment where in high school, I actually won this huge state award, Scholastic Award, for designing a coordinated menu and business card thing, packaging thing that I totally forgot about. So I always kind of had this kind of love for package design and all that, even though I never you know, I went to school for illustration, all of that. I never really delved into that. And it was kind of funny to kind of, you know, kind of take that moment and kind of go back in time and remember that I was actually kind of into that.
Right.
You know, so it's been really fun to do that. And, you know,
Chet, there's some of these sets. I'll send you this after the show, but we did a set for Joe, I cannot say his last name, Duplanter of Gojira, the singer of Gojira. And we did a 3-box set for him, and the boxes are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Like probably your best set ever.
Wow.
It like just really like very cohesive with the color and just the packaging, and it really is very much Scott, but you know, with the spin of whatever it is. Like if it's the logo, it's your logo. There's always high texture. And you know, he didn't want me to reveal how, so he gets some of these images, but like they're just all photographs of what he takes around, like a medical magazine or like a statue from a park.
I used to, I remember when I was really into digital, I was photographing everything, like cracks on the sidewalk, and you know, just to get cool textures and stuff.
And that, I mean, we'll be somewhere and he'll just be off like photographing something for hours.
Oh yeah. It's fun.
It's all pieces into, so like if you don't know what they are, you don't know what they are.
Yeah, right.
It's cool. Like the most recent toolbox was, you know, the teeth. There was like x-rays of teeth. But you can't really know that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, and it's just like that's what he does so well, is that it's not just tool logo and like just put the skull. There's a little bit of an enhancement that is very much him, very much us, still very cohesive. And we decide what sets are going to be a little more like, which are going to have a little more oomph to them. You know, there's some, I mean, I'll be honest, like some of them are like the logos, we can't really do much to them, or the band where, you know, it's hard to like pull all that creative out and get where you're happy, but you got to move on to the next one. And it's like, you know, maybe it's not like a Tool or Nail or Deftone that you do all the time. It's a new band. It's a little harder. Like we've done ones that music we don't listen to, so it's hard. Because I like to know what I'm making. I need to know like who's the singer? I'm like Googling, who's this? Bring me the horizon. You know, like, I got to figure that out. So what's the most popular song?
So but so I think the challenging part for me was, you know, how do I incorporate, you know, look, I have to use their logo. I have to, you know, and a lot of times I have to pull some of that band's assets into it. And how do I make that satisfying to me, or even remotely satisfying to me, be able to add something of my, you know, my own technique to it. And it's challenging. Sometimes that's kind of cringy to have to pull something from and incorporate that in and kind of feel satisfied with what I'm doing and stuff. So that was often challenging. And I'm now at a point where I'm almost treating them like gig posters. You know, so it is, you know, there's less of those assets and a bit more of my stuff involved in it, you know. But also still staying true to the vibe of the band or whatever it might be. So but it's been quite the journey. Not anything I thought I'd be doing.
I love that though, because you know, the package, it really is the packaging really takes it to another level. You know, to have it's like the cookies are so good and look so good that you have to put them in nice packaging like that. It's like it would be weird to not have them in nice packaging because they're so good. You know what I mean? So it's like both of those together just make it completely such a solid thing that I'm sure that's why the business is taken off so well, is just because it's like so amazing. Really, it's so cool. It's like I was thinking when I got them, I was like, this is the kind of thing that you could get for someone that the person that you don't know what to get. Like, there's always a person like, what do I buy? You have my wife is like that. It's like, I never know what to get her because she doesn't want anything and she's so specific about what she likes. It's like, that would be the perfect type of, yeah. It's like, it's one of those gifts to where it's like, if you want to give something to somebody that, you really care about, or that you want to give like a really high quality gift, but you don't want to get, you don't know what to get them, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just so special and unique and art oriented and just, and delicious too.
Well, think of like, a music fan. There's music fans. There's people that enjoy music.
Mm-hmm.
There's music fans.
Right.
There's hardcore music fans that go to most shows, buy every single piece of merch that is thrown at them. I mean, and like, what else do you get them? Do you get them another t-shirt?
Right, exactly.
Another poncho or whatever, and yes, like that's good too. But like, this is a little more special, a little more personal, and kind of
unique too.
Cool because you can't find it elsewhere. So like, probably my favorite reactions are the people that don't even know I exist. So like the Rush girl has never seen my work. I do get a lot of people that are like, my son saw your work, he forwarded me your page. That guy knows what I can do.
Right.
He's actually saying, can I have this Chet Zar and this Alex Gray and this Anima? He's asking me specifics, but it's the people that like have no clue that are literally like, fuck are they? They have no idea. And that's where I get a boner, because it's so cool. It's just so cool, right?
Yeah.
But I will say we did get an unboxing video that was not great.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Dying. I mean, okay, and this person doesn't follow me.
He was less than enthusiastic.
He
didn't like it?
He just opened the box.
He thought it was a waste of money.
Oh my god.
Are these tiles? And he like puts it and kind of grabs it.
I think he thought they were coasters, right?
I don't know.
They were coasters, and he's like, "How much did you spend on this?" It's like that.
It's like, I mean, you sent me that?
Yeah, right. What the hell?
It's just, I actually got a laugh out of it because, it's fine. But I was dying. I was like, okay, so maybe because he was being filmed. I know there's a lot of people that don't like, they're being filmed. They're like,
right.
When you open a present, what's going to happen? Something that, is this cookie going to come out or something? But yeah, no, it's been really great. And I love that. And, the biggest moment was definitely, I think the most recent moment, the one that I actually love the most, is meeting Russian Circles and giving them a box. So that is like, that's like, they have my heart. They're just amazing band. And we got to meet them. Oh, two of them.
So that's where the whole ribbon thing came in, was, so, in person, they're opening this box of cookies in front of us. And
we didn't know we were doing that either. But
so it was a surprise.
This is me being, like, no holds barred. I don't care. I'm like, okay, we're going to see them. They're going to be at my favorite venue, which is Metro in Chicago. And like, they're almost ending the tour, their current US tour. They have one more show. No, it was their last show. It was the last show. It's the last show of their tour. Yeah. And so I reached out to this girl, Claudia. She is a huge Russian Circle fan, like actually Russian Circle fan. And she, I asked her, I go, who can I get to get me to them? Like, how do I get to them? She's like, reach out to their merch guy. So I reached out to him. At first he ignored me, but I tried it again, like I always do. And I made a cookie. This is what I did. This is what I always do, Chad.
You made a cookie.
I made a cookie and I posted it and I go, look what I'm going to make you. I'm like, can you get me to the band? He's like, I will be there. And I made him a cookie. I actually made him a merch t-shirt, a t-shirt cookie that had the logo of Russian Circles on it. And I thought we were just going to give it to him and then go to the show and be, happy as peace. And he goes, hold on. And he calls their manager. And I'm like, what's going on here? And Scott's like over there. And 2 seconds later, we're fucking meeting them. We're meeting two of them, Dave and Brian, the drummer and bassist, who I love them so much.
Super awesome that guys, by the way. But it was funny because they couldn't get the box open. So the
ribbon
they couldn't get it open.
And I have it on video, and I'm just like cracking up.
And it was just kind of we weren't expecting it, so we were kind of nervous, and it was just so funny that they couldn't get the box open. And she's like, "Well, God damn it, just open it already!" She had to get in there, and And
I slid mine off. I was able to slide mine off, thinking
slide it off. You're not supposed to.
I know. I was like, I slid it off, thinking that if I looked at it, I'd be able to get it back on because that's what it was. Because I couldn't wait to open it because I knew it was in there before my wife came home, and I wanted to show her the packaging because it was so awesome looking. So I was like, okay, if I pull this off, I'll be able to tell how it's like twisted, and I'll be able to get it back on. And I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
So
that's like origami shit right there. On you, but the Asian part of me, I'm like.
So you're doing all of this on Instagram?
Yes.
So far. Because I mean, to me, it seems like this could be become a very large business for you if you choose to do that with it.
That is the goal. I will say kind of, I'm still doing my part-time gig and doing this and trying to figure out what direction I'm doing. But it's only so much I can do at one time. I can only do one set at a time.
Right. Yeah.
There's only so much I can produce, and I'm not at the level to teach someone to do this.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think that's probably better to just kind of like slowly just keep building it. And then
the true goal of this chat is, and we love doing sets for everyone. Like anyone and everyone that wants a set can order a set. But what we want to do is we want to be in the green room. We want to be there.
Not us, but
I want to be in the green room too. I want to be in every green room.
Yeah.
By the way, but we want it for the band.
Oh yeah.
We want that stuff in the room. When they're there, they're like, "Holy shit, that's my face on a cookie."
Yeah,
well, we see pictures of that all the time where it's Slayer's last show, and there's a whole. They're standing in front of a table with cookies and a cake on it.
And I'm like, I could do this cake.
Right.
And they were okay. But,
probably the local baker that said, I can do this. What's this pentagram? What is this?
Right.
I can do this blood. I'm like this. I'm like, the blood shooting off the side. Let's put this album cover, whatever. But, people send me this shit all the time. Like Ministry, they got these cookies, nailed cookies. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I could do better. Anyway.
Go-to people for that.
I need the venues there. I know the venues to reach out and be like, hey, Slayer's coming with blah, 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 and the cookies for the band and also like for the crew. They they have a crew of hundreds, so they have to feed those people too. So I that's really kind of, that would be amazing for us as artists to showcase our work to the actual artists. And also get that kind of monetary gain from that kind of gig too. So there's all wins of that. But I also love the people that just give it for their wife because it's her birthday and she starts crying because she loves this so much and it's something that she's never seen. I don't want to lose that either. I want the best of both worlds.
I
want to use opportunities to meet the band too. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I want to meet these bands left and right.
I'm like, I don't want to meet anybody.
No.
I don't want to meet anybody. I'm not.
I'll do your box. Yeah. I'll protect you in the pit, but I'm not meeting anyone. And I'm like this. I'm like, we're actually, which is pretty cool. We're redoing a set from Ministry, and for their show in Milwaukee. Yeah. So we're doing, which is cool. So that's the stuff I want to do. Like that Ministry was one of our first sets for artists, for the actual band. And my skill set was way different back then. And I want to read all the new imagery and like the stuff that I couldn't pull off back then. And we want to do that. Like, that's fun for us.
Yeah. I think you're going to be hugely successful because it's just too cool. It's just too cool. It's kind of like, it seems to me, it's almost like, to order a set from you would be like commissioning. It's like your commission. It's not just like ordering cookies. It's like you're commissioning art, which is so cool, but it's also delicious. it's like commissioning art that you can eat and is delicious.
More people have not eaten the cookies than have eaten them, for sure.
I don't know how you could not eat it if you knew how good they were. I mean, like I said, my only issue was I felt guilty, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but I just kept eating it. And then my granddaughters, I gave them one, but I was like hogging them for myself. I was not like, you kids are not going to eat these. These are mine.
They are addicting, aren't they? They're
so good.
I just sprinkle a little crack in them, and
yeah, there's something in there because they're so good. They're so good, so amazing.
Thank
well,
you.
I don't know. I'm excited for you guys. I think this is such a cool idea, and I think it's you guys are gonna be big. I think it's gonna be a big thing. I think it's a perfect niche too. Your idea of working with venues and bands. It's like that is such a smart, good idea. It's like I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen big for you guys. So
well, things like this help. Like having your podcast.
Yeah. So I hope it does help. I hope you get on. You seem to know what you're doing. I mean, it's like,
no, that's absolutely not true. We don't know.
Well, you seem to know what you're doing. I'm not saying you do.
I mean, half the stuff is pulled out last minute, but we have a lot of ideas. I have some great ideas for some sets this year. I will say, I'm going to put this out in the universe. I want to get a set to Snoop Dogg. I freaking love that man. He's such an icon, and
he's amazing.
He has so many great personalities, and
plus he's a total stoner, which is like cookies. Come on.
I'm gonna make them Snoop friendly cookies. I'm gonna get it out there. I'm gonna put Martha Stewart right in the middle. Like, I'm gonna do it all. Like, I already know what I'm gonna do, and that's my problem. I'll look at something. I'm like, I can make that in a cookie. I can make that in my.
We know. It's like we're always like, we know.
So unimpressed. I could make a 3D figure, and they're like, Mom, I'm hungry. Like, they just don't. They're not about stuff at all.
Our kids are too busy doing this stuff. Kids. So
I'm gonna put that in the world. I want to make a set for Snoop Dogg. That's my goal.
Okay. Well, I think it's gonna happen.
Thank you.
So you're gonna be having a website at some point soon?
Hopefully soon, but just DM me for now, and I will definitely work with you for sure.
Well, what's the Instagram handle?
Sugar that rocks.
Sugar that rocks. I'll put all that. We'll put all your info in the whatever you want promoted in the text, the body of the text on the episode and everything, and I just, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on, but just the fact that I wanted you to come on shows how much how impressed I was with what you did. I just am so impressed. I don't know what else to say. It's like, it's so good. It's so great. It's such a great thing. It's really amazing.
Blown away that you're having us on, man. Yeah. It was a huge, huge honor to be on.
See this thing? Awesome. Made him dust this so you wouldn't see all the dust.
Dusting this thing.
The studio, you have
look at mine. It's just it's a mess.
Where's the skull that falls apart that you always show? You're there's my skull. The teeth is falling out because your granddaughter took. Yep, exactly.
There's the one with the broken tooth.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I got a spinal column over here.
The fact that my cookie is right there.
Yeah.
You better not move it once we're off
No. They were there from
Okay.
when I took 3. I'm like, I have to save some. There was the one you were like, save the first. It was like the first alter ego, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like the 2 logo ones just looked so cool, but they look so delicious. And so I'm like, I'm gonna put them on the shelf, and I'm gonna try and forget about them so I don't eat them because they're so cool.
They're probably stale right now. Don't eat them. Chet, I'll get you some more cookies. I'll get you some different flavors. Just don't eat those.
Okay.
I'll get them.
But
Yeah,
especially the gas mask logo. Oh my god, it looks. It's like I wanna eat it so bad. It looks so delicious. For some reason, it just looks like, man. Oh god.
Chet loves monsters.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It was really, really great talking to you and hearing your story and stuff. So, yeah, everybody go to Sugar That Rocks on Instagram and order some amazing cookies. You won't even believe these cookies when you see them. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And just all we have to do is say goodbye to the audience. Don't hang up after, but just say goodbye, audience, or something like that. Let's give some kind of farewell.
Goodbye, farewell.
See y'all.
See you all later.